This is absolutely hilarious. Am I the only person that thinks this is hilarious? I'm trying to. Is this the only time we've ever seen a situation like this happen, where a player has been suspended not for a game, for a half? She's suspended for a half. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. She is suspended for a half a basketball game.
Tensions have boiled over in the Chicago Sky locker room, and Angel Reese has officially gone too far. Even her teammates have had enough. What began as frustration over a tough season has now spiraled into a full-blown crisis. Things have gotten so out of hand that the team is being forced to make a serious move to address the situation with their once promising star.
According to the report, Reese said she doesn't believe her teammates Rachel Banham or Haley Van Lith are capable of leading a playoff team. Guard Ariel Atkins is another player on the Sky's roster with WNBA championship experience. Tyler Marsh said, "We are aware of it." What Angel Reese said, "We're addressing it in-house as currently speaking. That's where we'll stay right now."
The same player who once claimed to be on Caitlin Clark's level is now a reminder of what can go wrong when pride takes priority over teamwork, when public comments damage relationships behind the scenes.
Tell front office sports, the entire team has seen Reese's comments and they're basically unhappy with the direct attacks. They are even planning a team meeting to talk about it. We'll read you some of the excerpts, which does kind of not make her team look good. One of which say, "We can't rely on Courtney," that's Courtney Vandersloot, "to come back at the age that she's at. I know she'll be a great asset for us, but we can't rely on that. We need someone probably a little younger with some experience, somebody who's been playing the game and is willing to compete for a championship and has done it before."
Angel Reese's latest controversy goes far beyond her performance on the court. At its heart, this is about character, leadership, and the respect every teammate should show one another. In a move that shocked many, Reese went public with harsh criticism, so damaging that the team had no choice but to suspend her for harming the group's unity. But the suspension was only the start. What followed was a major internal shakeup that now puts Reese's future with the Chicago Sky in serious doubt.
Also, you guys remember the story. Angel Reese calling out her teammates, calling out the front office. You're a bum, you're a bum, you're a bum. You're a bum. Yeah, you ladies won't do it for me. Coach Marsh, can you please coach harder? Yeah, Angel Reese, 48 hours later, already backtracking on those statements, already moonwalking like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, he'd probably be proud how quickly Angel Reese is moonwalking from the comments she made. And I have an exclusive.
The situation reached its tipping point when Reese told the Chicago Tribune that the team needs great players and that she wouldn't settle for what they had this season. While some might see that as competitive drive, her teammates took it as a slap in the face, a public statement that they weren't good enough to play alongside her.
Some of the other stuff that she said was also pretty bad. I'm not settling for the same shit we did this year. We have to get good players. We have to get great players. That's a non-negotiable for me. I am willing and wanting to play with the best. And however I can help to get the best here, that's what I'm going to do this offseason. So it's going to be very, very important this offseason to make sure that we attract the best of the best because we can't settle for what we have this year. So her saying we can't settle for what we have this year, that is basically like a slap in the face to Becca Allen. That is a slap in the face to Rachel Banham. That is a slap in the face to Ariel Atkins.
Veteran guard Rachel Banham, who's poured her heart into this team, was stunned by Reese's comments. And Ariel Atkins, one of Reese's strongest supporters through every rough patch, finally hit her breaking point.
Chicago Sky values safety, respect, and well-being of every player. We're committed to accountability so our players can stay focused on playing basketball. Because of statements made by Angel Reese during league-mandated media, I've never seen this before, but she is getting suspended for a half. Not a game. Not a game. One half. One half she is getting suspended for. That is absolutely hilarious.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. Reese's great players comment wasn't. just about improving the roster, as it was a pointed shot at the very teammates who stood by her during one of the toughest seasons in the team's history. She openly questioned whether Rachel Bannum or Hailey Van Lith were ready to lead a team to the playoffs, and she dismissed 36-year-old Courtney Vandersloot, saying the team couldn't depend on someone her age and needed a younger player with experience instead. These weren't private, behind-the-scenes conversations. They were public takedowns framed as casual basketball talk.
To be here for the rest of my career, but if things don't pan out, obviously I might have to move in a different direction and do what's best for me. And listen, I totally get that, because if you are somebody with a lot of star power, you don't want your career just like rotting away in a place, especially this guy, the GM, Jeff Pagliocca. He absolutely sold this guy's future. He traded away draft picks for this like win now mentality. And who he drafted? Now, I don't want to speak bad about Hailey Van Lith, but she has not had a mentor to actually mentor her to be any proper type of point guard. So she's kind of been flying in the dark. She hasn't exactly proven her worth in the dark.
What made Reese's comments so damaging wasn't just the content, it was the way she delivered them. While Caitlin Clark spent her rookie season facing tough opponents, critical crowds, and nonstop pressure, she still found ways to lift up her teammates and help her team grow. Reese, on the other hand, chose to criticize the very people who had stood by her through every challenge. The difference couldn't be more clear. Clark rose above the chaos and brought her team with her. Reese pointed fingers when things got tough.
This is the reason I have spent the last few years referring to the WNBA as a dump. This is the reason I don't feel bad when I refer to the WNBA as a toxic turd. Not only have they damn near ruined their opportunity with Caitlin Clark, the dump diver they chose to support, the pretend basketball player they have spent the last 2 years begging you to support. They desperately want her to be accepted. They are desperate to make her a star. Not only has she been rejected by normal people, Angel Reese is now being rejected and potentially kicked off of her own team.
The response from Reese's teammates was immediate, and it hit hard. Multiple league sources confirmed that the entire Chicago Sky roster had seen her comments, and the mood was overwhelmingly negative. The team quickly called a players-only meeting, not to defend their so-called star, but to deal with the damage she'd caused to team morale. During that meeting, Ariel Atkins, who had been one of Reese's strongest supporters, spoke up directly. She told Reese her behavior had crossed a line and couldn't be ignored. Rachel Bannum's reaction made the emotional toll crystal clear. Speaking to the Chicago Sun-Times, she said, "I think I just don't really care. I'm so over all of this. If I was younger, it would have affected me more, but I'm grown, and I just don't care." But behind those words was more than frustration. It was disappointment. Bannum admitted she felt blindsided by the interview. It wasn't just about basketball anymore. It was about a teammate she had stood by, suddenly turning on her without warning and doing it publicly.
Angel Reese, earlier in the week, in an interview, threw her Chicago Sky teammates under a bus and then ran the bus over them and then backed up the bus, bouncing over them again, and then proceeded to drive over them one more good time just to be sure that their carcasses were no longer twitching. It was one of the most me, selfish ass interviews I've ever heard from any athlete, trashing her very own team.
Meanwhile, Ariel Atkins, who had often defended Reese in the past, now backed the team's decision to suspend their star player. Ownership handled it how they see fit, she told the Sun-Times. They have our full support. When asked if she'd been in touch with Reese since the team meeting, Atkins said she hadn't, a sign of just how far Reese had pushed away even her closest allies in the locker room. The Chicago Sky's response has been tougher than anything seen before. While the half-game suspension may have seemed minor at first, sources inside the organization say it's only the beginning. More serious consequences could be on the way, possibly leading to Reese's removal from the team. The franchise released a statement highlighting their commitment to accountability and making sure players can focus on basketball, a clear message that Reese's drama has become a distraction they're no longer willing to accept.